Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Chem Insider. In today's video, we will be discussing more about the electrochemistry chapter of class 12. So, in the previous video, we learnt about the reactions or the process of electrochemical cell and how to determine an electrolytic cell which results in creating certain non-spontaneous chemical reactions. So now we will discuss more about the concepts of galvanic cell or a Daniell cell. So now, usually we know Daniell cell, which is constructed by reacting zinc sulfate in zinc and putting metal copper in copper electrolyte solution and interconnecting them with certain external wires and internally through salt bridge. So when you consider for the Daniell cell, so we have two beakers, one with copper sulfate solution. Okay, so this is a copper sulfate solution. So we have dipped a copper electrode in it, and the other has a zinc sulfate solution and a zinc electrode dissolved in it. So this is zinc sulfate and this is metal zinc which is acting as an anode. So we have copper cathode, this is copper cathode, and these two are interconnected through a voltmeter and a switch. Okay, so let us say we have a switch over here, and further they are connected through a salt bridge. So what happens here is, if we are considering the two electrodes which are dipped inside a solution, if you consider for a metal dissolved or dipped in a metal electrolyte solution of its own self, what happens is we have to connect them to a salt bridge. Like for example, in this case we are dipping the zinc metal electrode in zinc sulfate solution and copper metal electrode in copper sulfate solution. What happens if you consider both these two electrodes dipped in the same solution? So let us say if you are considering the two electrodes dipped in the same solution and interconnected to a voltmeter, so then there is no requirement of using a salt bridge. Okay, but in this condition we are supposed to use a salt bridge because we are taking the electrodes and the electrolyte solution in two different containers. So now once you switch on this particular electric circuit, so what happens is, we generally know the reaction takes place. What reaction takes place over here? That is, zinc reacts with Cu2 plus ions to form Zn2 plus and Cu. So this is what we know happens in the reaction. So if you have to explain it theoretically, we can say that the metal zinc present in the electrode dissolves in the zinc sulfate solution, losing electrons. Those electrons move towards the cathode, where the Cu2 plus ions present in the solution consumes those electrons and gets accumulated on the metal electrode. So now for that we write the complete reaction as such. So now if you write the reactions, particularly what's happening at the anode and what's happening at the cathode. So at anode the reaction is zinc metal, that is denoted as zinc solid. Zinc metal is losing electrons. Zinc metal is losing electron to the zinc sulfate solution. So zinc metal is losing electron and getting dissolved in the zinc sulfate solution, and it forms an aqueous medium, right? Zn2 plus is in the aqueous medium, losing 2 electrons. So these electrons will be moving towards the cathode. So at cathode, what we observe is the Cu2 plus ions present in the aqueous medium. The Cu2 plus ions present in the aqueous medium gains those 2 electrons which are coming at the cathode. They gain those 2 electrons and form Cu. That is, it is getting accumulated on the metal strip or metal electrode. So now, according to particular reaction, what you can say is the overall complete reaction of a Daniell cell can be split into two, right? A reaction where reduction takes place, a reaction where oxidation takes place, a reaction where reduction takes place. As we know that Daniell cell is nothing but a redox reaction cell where both reduction and oxidation takes place simultaneously. So therefore what we observe is the work done in this particular reaction is because of the Gibbs energy of redox reaction. Due to the energy released by the redox reaction, that particular chemical change is converted to an electrical energy which is used for certain works to be done. Like for example, if you have to heat up a heater or a geyser or a battery cell, etc., we use this particular reaction. Okay. So now what we can say is, using that particular reaction of Daniell cell, we can create an electrical energy or we can do some electrical work defined by the Gibbs energy of this particular reaction. Therefore, what we can state is these two reactions which happens at anode and cathode can be considered as this as the oxidation reaction, that is oxidation half reaction. Sorry, half oxidation reaction. Okay, half oxidation reaction, and this is the half reduction reaction. This can be stated as half reduction reaction. Both these two can combine to form the redox reactions. So this is a redox reaction. So in a Daniell cell we observe a half oxidation reaction and a half reduction reaction. Then when we are observing those two is at the cathode and the anode and the cathode respectively. So these cathode and anode can be said as the electrodes which define the Daniell cell to be performing. Therefore, the cells present, that is the metal electrode and the electrolyte. So this particular metal and the metal electrolyte can be said as a cell, that is a half cell, right? So this can be considered as a half cell. This is considered as a half cell. Together both combined called a complete Daniell cell. Therefore, anode can be called as half oxidation cell. At anode the components can be called as half oxidation cell, whereas at cathode they can be called as half reduction cell, right? So they can be called as half oxidation and half reduction cell. These two half oxidation and half reduction cells together called as redox couples. Redox couples are also called as cells. Okay, so these are called redox couples or redox cells, right? Half oxidation cell and half reduction cell together both combined can be called as a redox cell or a redox couple. So now what we can clearly observe is, once a switch is on, once the electrode and electrolyte switch is on, what happens is they will be observing a reaction where the zinc of the metal electrode dissolves in the solution, losing the electrons. Those electrons come near the positive charge, that is the cathode, where the ions present, Cu2 plus ions, the metal ions present in the solution, gaze those electrons get accumulated on the metal electrode, which resulting certain half cell reaction. Together those half cell reaction combine to form a complete redox reactions. Now once this is completely done, what we have to understand is, if you consider these two electrodes separately at equilibrium, let us say we are considering in this condition the electrons are flowing from left to right. So clearly current will be flowing from right to left. We know that, which we have explained in the earlier class. So now let us consider an equilibrium condition. Okay, let us consider an equilibrium condition where there is no flow of electrons on either side or no flow of current on either side. That means both are tending the same tendency to lose electron or to gain electron. Now what we have to understand is, when we consider that particular condition, we create an electrode-electrolyte interface. We create an electrode-electrolyte interface if we consider for the zinc and zinc sulfide itself at equilibrium. equilibrium, the metal zinc present in the electrode, may tend to lose electron and get dissolved in the solution, right? Zinc may tend to lose electrons to form Zn2+. Similarly, copper can also tend to lose electron to form Cu2+ ions. That is because it is in equilibrium. Zinc can also tend to lose an electron to form Zn2+ and 2+ electron, and copper can also tend to lose electrons to form Cu2+ with losing 2 electrons. So now, which is going to form a reduction and which is going to form an oxidation? This completely depends upon the redox potential of this reaction. So, when you consider for a metal dipped in its metal electrolyte, it generates an electrode-electrolyte interface, which generates an electrode-electrolyte interface. It may explain the possibility of the reaction where oxidation or reduction can take place either at the anode or at the cathode. So how can we determine that particular given element is under particular given anode or a cathode is undergoing either reduction or an oxidation? In order to know that, what we have to do is we need to consider the potential difference which is arised because of the two different metal and metal electrode interface. That is, if we consider zinc with zinc sulfate solution, they have a different potential, and similarly copper with copper sulfate solution has a different potential. Therefore, what we observe is when copper tends to lose electron, it has a different potential, and when zinc tends to lose electron, it will carry a different potential. And those potentials are found to be copper was of 0.34 volts and zinc is of minus 0.76 volts. Okay, copper's electrode potential was found to be 0.34 volts, zinc potential was 0.76 volts. So if we consider these two reactions, this is nothing but a reduction reaction, right? So when a metal is trying to this is an oxidation reaction. So a metal is undergoing oxidation means it is reducing the other substance. So the amount of potential that a metal possesses to reduce the other element is called its electrode reduction potential. Okay, the potential of an element or a metal to reduce the other metal or an element. The potential of one metal to reduce other metal is called the reduction potential of that metal. So now, if you consider for the zinc sulfate solution, its reduction potential is 0.76 volts, and for copper it is 0.34 volts. So when you consider the reduction potential of a given electrode, and if you consider the zinc sulfate solution or the copper sulfate solution which you are considering is of unity, that is 1 molar concentration, then that particular electrode potential will be called as standard reduction potential. Then that particular potential is called standard reduction potential. So this initially was called the standard reduction potential. Later it was named as standard electrode potential. So now standard electrode potential of zinc is minus 0.76 volts. Standard electrode potential of copper is plus 0.34 volts. So now clearly we have a complete difference between these two. So the difference between these two is called the potential difference in their electrode potential, which causes the initiation of this reaction. Okay, so now we have a minus charge here and we have a plus charge here. Okay, we have a positive volt on the other side, negative voltage on the left hand side. So what happens is electrons move from zinc to copper. Okay, electrons move from zinc to copper. Therefore, the reaction carries from negative end to the positive end. So, it is from the anode to the cathode. So, what we have to do is the metal or an element which has the least electrode potential should be considered as an anode, and the metal or the element which has higher electrode potential value should be considered as cathode. So, So this should be considered as the cathode potential, which always carry a positive value, or it should be a higher value in compared to the other. And metal or the metal ion which has low electrode potential value is considered to be as an anode. Okay. So now what happens is, once you construct those two using the particular metal and metal electrodes, we can clearly say that using the specific electrode potentials of different metals and their metal electrolyte interface difference, we can construct more number of Daniell cells. Right? So if we can just determine the zinc and copper itself, we can create more number of Daniell cells using different metal and metal electrolyte interface. Like for example, silver sulfate solution, ferrous sulfate solution, mercury sulfate solution, etc. So using this particular half cell reactions, we can create innumerable number of half cells. And when you connect one of the half cell anode with the other half cell cathode, we can clearly create a new Daniell cell. That is what we are going to explain in this particular galvanic cell explanation. So whenever you have electrodes whose half cell potential or the half cell reaction is known completely, then you can consider those half cells for creating an anode and a cathode terms. So when you create an anode cell and a cathode cell of different metal and metal electrolyte solution, and once you connect them to one another, you can clearly observe a new potential or cell being generated. So therefore, if you consider these two which have a specific potential difference, those can clearly initiate a particular reaction. So now in this particular reaction, zinc sulfate has an electrode potential of -0.76, copper has an electrode potential of +0.34. Clearly both these two have a different electrode potential. Okay. So now once you have constructed this cell, we now can determine about the electromotive force or the potential of the complete cell. EMF of a cell or the potential of the complete cell, or which is also called the cell potential. The EMF of a cell or a potential of a cell can be determined by the difference between the cathode and the anode cell potentials. Okay. If you know the electrode potentials of the cathode and the anode, the difference between those two gives us the EMF of the given cell created by those two, cathode and anode. Now for this particular Daniell cell, EMF or the cell potential is given by E cell, which is equals to potential of cathode minus potential of anode. So that is 0.34 minus 0.76, that gives us 1.1 volts. So in the previous video we discussed about electrode cell of potential being 1.1 volts. This 1.1 volts is nothing but than what we have used in the earlier video. Okay. So electrode potential of a cell can be determined by knowing the potential of cathode and anode. The difference of potential cathode to the anode is nothing but the cell potential, or also called the EMF of the cell. So now later in the years, IUPAC convicted that whenever you have to represent the cells of a reaction, you need to consider the anode on the left hand side and cathode on the right hand side. And further, cathode and anode are separated by a double vertical line indicating a salt bridge present between them, and a metal electrolyte should be separated by a single vertical line denoting their electrode-electrolyte interface. So a Daniell cell of this particular type can be represented through a terminological representation where we can write them as metal with metal ion with one more metal, this is M1, M2. In such a way where metal and metal electrolyte, so these are separated by a single vertical line denoting electrode-electrolyte interface. So he clearly has electrolyte and electrode interface, and this double vertical line indicating the salt bridge. Now if you have to write down the electrode representation for this Daniell cell, so this particular should be anode and this should be for cathode. So now if we represent the Daniell cell, it can be represented as zinc solid, Zn2 plus aqueous, a salt bridge, Cu2 plus aqueous and Cu solid. So this is how you represent the Daniell cell. Okay, that is called cell representation. Now if you have to write down the cell reactions, or if you have to find out the cell reaction, you can write down as zinc plus Cu2 plus gives Zn2 plus with Cu. So this is cell representation. So this is cell reaction. So now EMF of the cell can be calculated as E cell equal to E cathode minus E anode. Since we also know that anode will always be present on the left hand side, cathode will also be present on the right hand side, it can also be calculated as E of left side, E right, E of anode is E right minus E left. So this is how you can determine the EMF of the cell. So this complete topic is about the galvanic cell or the Daniell cell. So this is about this particular video. So I hope you have understood all these concepts. If you have understood this, please subscribe to my channel and share this video among your friends. Thank you for watching.